this and this, and they're just like, got it, coach. And so, it's a little less teaching when it comes to wanting to put tweaks in before a game. And I forgot what that was like. Yeah. So it was kind of funny this morning because I said, oh, yeah, I forgot. Bree knows what I'm saying. And we just move on, And so I'm excited. You can tell our team has a spunk about us, since we got Bree back too. And obviously having Jay coming off that concussion. So I think it's just big. But it was also a good thing because I learned to trust some people off the bench that I probably wouldn't have thrown in otherwise. Or maybe it would have been down the stretch. And so I think, once we get everyone back, we're going to be pretty deep too. But I am very excited to have both of them back tonight.
Getting people back is one thing, but then losing some, and Sophie Henry's been somebody that's really kind of gone forward and been out there in the trenches. Alyssa Walker has been in the trenches. And now you don't have them. And, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul almost.
That's what I feel like.
So how does it affect the team without having those two out there?
And I really, it's hard to answer that question right now, but in practice, you can kind of tell a difference because one thing that I'll tell you about Sophie, like Sophie goes hard 24/7. And not is she, she's not necessarily a scorer per se, but I think she's one of our best defenders. And she does a great job sinking in and getting rebounds. And then she just does everything I ask her to do. So I've kind of molded her into that a little bit. And so that part of it I'm having to let go of today. And we're going to play a little bit with Elle at the one and also with Jordan at the one and kind of flip-flop with them and try to get some reps. And I might throw in one of my new point guards in the rotation just seeing how the game goes. And then, Alyssa, I was excited to see her and Bree play together because when you watch them in practice, they feed off each other so well. And I just feel like, that gives Alyssa a big spunk coming in. And so hopefully January, we'll have all the pieces together and that'll be pretty exciting. So, I was excited getting Bree back. That was a milestone. And now it's like, okay, well, now we've got to wait a little bit longer till January, but I'll take it.
This is a team tonight you will jump back into South Atlantic Conference play. I think it was good for us to experience the non-conference games last week, get a huge win against North Georgia, and we'll get a loss to Lander. We'll talk about that on our TV show a little bit more in detail, but we jump back into conference play and against a Newberry team that, a little bit up and down, I think, somewhat this year, but they've lost 5 of their last 6, but they rebound the basketball very well. What has to be key for that aspect of the game tonight, making sure they don't get second chances?
Well, we did a lot of box out drills this week and a lot of rebounding stuff, and I've been really putting that as the main focus this week going into this game because I saw they average almost 20 rebounds or offensive rebounds a game, and obviously they miss more shots, and so that's a key too. They miss a lot of shots, and so they're getting a lot of those rebounds. When you look at that statistic, but it just goes back to being able to keep them off the boards. And I mean, it helps so much having Bree back for that aspect too, because even if she's averaging 5 or 6, that's another 5 or 6 that maybe we couldn't have grabbed before.
Right. They're large. I mean, they're just big.
Yeah.
And I think, you've got the return of Wisely, but you got some new kids that are out there for them, 6'2", 6'4", whatever it is. How do you match up with it? Will it be a matchup nightmare for you tonight?
I don't think so. Just from the standpoint, even though they're bigger, Maya's been guarding some 6'2" and 6'3" people for us at the 4 spot. And I originally had started her at a guard spot and kind of moved her over to that trail 4. And so I think that'll be huge for us tonight too. But she's been so great for us defensively, and then getting Bree back, and Bree is a defensive nightmare on our end for other people. And so I don't see that happening. And also, with a group like this, we can ball pressure a lot because they shoot it better than they handle it. And so we're going to do that a lot tonight.
They don't score it a whole lot, and I think it's because they run the shot clock down. They try to take, I think, the best shot that they can. They're not shooting it for a very high percentage. Can you get into them and maybe speed them up a little bit?
Yeah, and that's what we're going to try to do, and especially off free throws. We're going to do some different stuff, and then if we need to pick them up man-to-man in the full court, we're going to do some stuff like that too, maybe some run and jump traps. So we're just going to throw some different things at them and some different looks, and then in the half court too, we're just going to try to ball pressure them and make them make a decision quick. And I know we did that last year kind of leading into that first round of the NCAA tournament, and it helped us a lot. But I also know they're a little bit of a different team too. So, we'll see. But I think it'll be a good matchup for us.
Do you kind of have a wry smile with maybe a more points in the paint presence tonight?
Yes, most definitely. There's one thing about Bree because we went back and we were going over some of our post sets, and I said, you don't have to score with your back to the basket. Just catch it mid-range, face up, and go to work. And so I think it is going to help us from here on out being able to have that post presence that I know can score down there because now you can play that inside-outside game that we were kind of missing when we lost Maddie. So it's going to help us a lot.
Look forward to it tonight.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Thank you.
Coach Megan Price, as the Pioneers get set to take on the Newberry Wolves, her thoughts just before tip-off. It's Tusculum and Newberry as you listen to Pioneer Basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Share size candy, including Snickers,
Let's
Indigo,
roll.
Twix, Skittles, and Starburst 2 for just $3.50, and Gatorade 28-ounce bottles 2 for $4.
Notice I got the billboards right, the right school plate.
Yeah, that's good
Loyalty
stuff.
card and start earning money instantly. All of this and more at Marathon Quick Stop Markets. Run in when you run out.
Pioneer Basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network. Brought to you by
Roberts Furniture,
Andrew Johnson Bank,
Hometown Realty and Auction, Marathon Quick Stop Markets, your Greenville Light and Power System, Mortgage Investors Group,
Corley's Pharmacy,
Gateway Ford, Nissan,
Greenville Federal Bank. And now, with the call, the voice of the Pioneers,
So we welcome you back into Pioneer Arena. We welcome all of those along our stations here tonight. We welcome and say hello to those at Newberry, South Carolina. Jimmy Coggins unable to make it here this evening. Gary unable to be here. Best of luck for Gary's daughter. Understand they're about ready to have a baby there, so that's exciting. So we'll be pleased to bring you our broadcast here tonight, albeit maybe a hint of Tusculum favoritism. Don't hold that against us here tonight. Let's take a look at your starting five for the Newberry Wolves. It'll be Holly Davis, a 5'7 junior out of Surrey, England. Courtney Virgo, the 5'10 junior guard out of Australia. Balasia Gates, the 5'10 fourth-year junior out of Batesburg, Leesville, South Carolina. Julia Bongiorno out of the Rome, Italy area by way of Florida International University, the 5'10 junior, and Erica Wisely, the 6'2 fourth-year junior out of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Coached by Joanna Tincher, who is in her fourth season at Newberry, 44 wins, 8th season overall, 62 wins, 1-5 against Tusculum. They were swept last year against the Pioneers. For Tusculum tonight, glad to have a couple of familiar faces back in that starting five, like Jayla Arnwine, the 5'6 graduate out of Knoxville from Bearden High School. Elle Hutchinson will get the start tonight, the 5'7 graduate from Cairns, Australia, by way of Young Harris from Cairns State High School. Lexi Patty has exploded onto the scene for the Pioneers, the 5'9 true freshman out of Maryville, Tennessee, by way of Heritage High School. Bree Dixon back in the lineup, period. Not only the fact that she's a starter, back in, period. An honorable mention all-conference from a year ago, the senior from Decatur, Georgia, from Duluth High School by way of Walters State. And Maya Belton leading this team this season, the senior guard out of Blythewood, South Carolina, by way of Westwood High School. Back-to-back double-doubles, 13 points, 11 rebounds against LMU, and 16 points, 11 rebounds against North Georgia. Pioneers coached by Megan Price in her second year, 22 wins, 4 years overall, 60 wins, and is 2-0 against Newberry, getting the sweep last year in the regular season once and in the conference quarterfinals to advance on their way to a South Atlantic Conference Tournament Championship. The opening tip from Maya Belton is won by the Pioneers, and we're underway. Glad you could be with us. Our officials are Daniel Drake, Jessamine Bradley, and Aaron Talbot. Brian Staten, courtside game station engineer in the Pioneer Sports Network, is Nathan Humbert. This will be Bree Dixon driving it right down the lane for the first 2 points of the year for Bree Dixon, and it's 2-0 Tusculum. They put Bree in as the 5. Keep in mind, out of college, Walter State, I should say, she played point guard. Pioneers lead it 2-0. Newberry with the basketball in the front court. This will be Davis on the left side. They go inside to Wisely, working against Dixon, knocked away by Belton and out of play off of the Pioneers. And it will stay Newberry basketball. They'll inbound baseline front court. They move it right to left on your radio dial. They wear the black uniforms with the scarlet trim, letters, and numbers. At the top of the key on the dribble drive, this is going to be Gates. Gates gets into the paint, rejected by Belton, picked up by Bree Dixon, who's going to dribble it into the front court herself. Hutchinson down the right wing, hands it off to Patty. Now back out to Hutchinson, and Tusculum will organize in the half court. As Newberry did not allow a fast break, they organized defensively. Patty at the top, bouncing it to Dixon from the left elbow. They work, and they will give it to Dixon, who will pull up for 2 from 10 feet. That's good on the left block. It's 4-0 Tusculum. 8:50 to play here in this opening quarter. Cross the midcourt stripe into the front court will be Davis. Will hand it off and into the hands of Bongiorno to Gates. Gates on the left wing, looking for Davis. Davis will have it on the baseline, a traveling violation to turn it back over. Into the contest very, very quickly for Newberry. Off the bench will come Tyler Stolberg, the fourth-year junior out of Brisbane, Australia. So the Pioneers have the basketball. They go left to right. They wear the home white. 8.5 to play here in this opening quarter. Tusculum leading 4-0 on 2 Bree Dixon jumpers. Top of the key, this will be Jayla Arnwine. Arnwine down the lane, in the paint, off the glass, too strong. A long rebound will come out to Hutchinson, who will track it down for the Pioneers. And now Patty takes off right down the lane. She'll finish in the paint, off the glass. 6-0 Tusculum on the dribble penetration by first Arnwine, then by Patty. In the front court on the baseline is Stolberg. Will skip it out onto the left wing. This will be Virgo. Virgo penetrates on the dribble, but then kicks it out to Davis, who takes a jumper off the dribble. It's no good. Rebounded by Maya Belton of Tusculum. Pioneers on the run into the front court, down the right wing. Trailing is Belton. She'll fire a three. This one is short, no good. Rebounded by Arnwine. Her putback is no good. Belton battles for the rebound. Her putback is good and one. Offensive rebound putback against the team that leads the conference in offensive rebounds. And the personal foul is whistled against Julia Bongiorno. And 2 players off the bench into the contest for Newberry as Tusculum has started at lights out. Talia Roberts will be into the contest, number 1. And it looks like Peyton Cronin, the sophomore from Louisville, Kentucky, has checked in. Belton knocks in the free throw for the 3-point play, and the Pioneers are off to their best start of the year. Let's just be perfectly honest. 9-0 Tusculum. Right side front court. On the right wing on the dribble is Davis into the hands of Roberts. Roberts, their leading scorer, comes in off the bench every game. 3 ball by Davis on the way. That one's no good. Rebounded by Patty. Tusculum ball up 9-0. Sprinting into the front court, Patty. Dixon from the right will hand it back off to Hutchinson. Hutchinson bouncing it back to Dixon. All this behind a 3-point stripe. Skips it left side to Arnwine. Left free for 3. Side of the rim is no good. Belton had the rebound, had it knocked away, and Newberry finally gets a stop as the Pioneers have opened up lights out. 4 of 7 from the field. On the drive is Davis. She just lost it out of play. They'll award it, I think, back to Newberry. That's the case. Jordan Rogers into the contest for the Pioneers. She'll be seeing the floor for the first time. Back into the game will come Courtney Virgo for Newberry. No, it is Pioneer ball. It was just a turnover by Newberry. Did not see the officials' indication, and nobody acted too surprised from Newberry. 9-0 Tusculum. We're under 7 to play opening quarter. Bree Dixon on the drive will skip it out to Arnwine. Extra pass to Roberts. Extra pass to Belton. Extra pass to Arnwine is tipped out of play. Maybe too many extra passes. Or maybe I just said extra too many times. 6:47 on the clock. It's out of play, and it will be Pioneer basketball. They'll inbound left side front court. On the inbound, it's going to be Jordan Rogers. To the top of the key, Jayla Arnwine. Arnwine dribbling it down the lane. Kick out for Patty in the corner, and she'll take it off the dribble into the paint, lay it off for Belton, who lays it up and in. And a timeout is going to be asked for by Newberry. Coach Tincher has seen enough. So a break, and we return in 1 minute. 6:36 to play here in this opening quarter. It's Tusculum 11. It's Newberry 0. This is Pioneer basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network.
In 1971, when the Lawson family first started in the car business, there were 7 new...
I need to run a loose board today.
Yeah, I would say yeah, a little loose. They may cover up some stuff early, but you don't have to be real loose.
Anybody listening to us?
No, outside of Jenna.
Okay.
We serve you right here at
Jenna
Gateway Ford
and I don't think anybody else is.
Okay. I sent you a quick text.
Don't offend Jenna with whatever you're going to say.
Don't worry. I won't.
All right, good deal.
Sent you a quick text.
Maximum energy efficiency. Not only will an annual tune-up prolong the life of your electric heat pump, it also allows you to rest peacefully this winter when the single-digit temperatures arrive. This message brought to you by your friends at your Greenville Light and Power System.
This is Tusculum versus Newberry on the Pioneer Sports Network. Your home for Pioneer basketball with the voice of the Pioneers, Ryan.
So we welcome you back into Pioneer Arena. We have gotten off to a great start to Pioneers. 11-0 on 5 of 9 shooting. And a tie-up situation. Newberry's going to keep it as Roberts tried to penetrate out of the Newberry timeout, by the way, as well. Newberry has started just 0 for 3. They have 2 turnovers. Pioneers have 9 shots. They have 3 offensive boards. On the inbound, on the left baseline on the inbound is Bongiorno looking inside the paint. Jordan Rogers got a block. Bree Dixon was battling inside with Stolberg as well. It was a late whistle. It didn't really hear the whistle right away, and the foul is on Dixon. So Bree will pick up her first, and Stolberg will go to the free throw line for Newberry. So Stolberg to the stripe, and the first free throw is up, and it's good. Stolberg, 72% from the free throw line this year. And 7.6 points per contest, makes both free throws. And it's 11-2 Tusculum. Into the front court will go the Pioneers. Again, they move it left to right. Patty, a nice job keeping the ball in play. Back out to Arnwine. Newberry's defensive intensity is up a bit out of that timeout. A stern talking to apparently has worked. It's a good defensive team. One of the best in the league. Dixon takes off down the lane. Apparently she traveled down the lane. So a turnover against the Pioneers. It'll be their first here in this opening quarter of play. 6:01 on the clock. Belton with 5. Dixon has 4. And that leads the Pioneers. Stolberg, the only 2 for Newberry at the moment. In the paint, turnaround jumper's good. She has all 4. 11-4 Tusculum. Into the front court, Stolberg, 6'2", 6'4" Rummery Lamb, and 6'2" Erica Wisely. Pioneers countering with 6 foot Bree Dixon in the paint as a point guard, playing the 5 today. Dixon on the wing, taking Stolberg way out from the paint. Tusculum passing all around the perimeter. 5 seconds to shoot. Arnwine kicks it out to Dixon, who fires a 3. It goes all the way around the rim, no good. And the rebound comes down and into the hands of Newberry's Cronin. Cronin, long pass to the front court to Virgo. Back out to the top of the key to Bongiorno. Bongiorno down the lane, got away with the travel. And Belton couldn't believe a whistle and a foul was on her because the travel, I think, happened after the deflection initially. It was a foul, there's no question, for Belton. But it looked as if the traveling violation may have happened first. But that wasn't called, so therefore there was no travel violation. Into the contest for the first time for Newberry will come Ella Pearson, a freshman out of Suffolk, England. And Bongiorno goes to the free throw line for Newberry, who knocks down the first. So an 11-0 start for the Pioneers. But again, Newberry has responded nicely, and they've scored the next 6. Pioneer basketball's Jordan Rogers will take it into the front court momentarily. Oh, she's trapped at the midcourt stripe. Isn't in trouble, and as she throws it underneath the bucket to Patty, who scores it and is fouled. And an opportunity at the free throw line for Lexi Patty for the three-point play as Newberry comes with a half-court trap. They threw out of it. And the officials are going to get together, and it's still going to be a foul. I'm not sure what the conversation would have been about. Tyler Stolberg will pick up the personal foul. So Patty will go to the free throw line, shooting 70% from the field. A true freshman out of Maryville, Tennessee, over her last 4 games, and is averaging 9 points a game in that stretch of contest. And a 15-point game against North Georgia, 11-point game against Queens. Makes the free throw. The Pioneers lead 14-6. Jumper by Bongiorno in the paint, no good. Rebounded by Dixon of Tusculum. Dixon on the sprint into the front court. Passes up to Rogers. Rogers backs it out near the midcourt stripe on the dribble. Belton, Arnwine, Patty, and Dixon out there with her. This will be Patty on the left wing. Picked up by Virgo in the man-to-man. Switch, but Patty goes right around her, drives it right into the rim, missed the shot, and the rebound out of bounds, but a whistle, and I think Patty trying to battle with Wisely inside the paint will be whistled for a foul. It's indeed the case. So Patty picking up her first, team foul number 3 on the Pioneers. 4:24 to play in this opening quarter. Tusculum leads 14-6. They led it 11-0. Baseline on the front court will be Wisely. Spinning once, twice, but nowhere to go. And then a 3-second lane violation as Bree Dixon shut her down inside the paint. So the Pioneers forced the turnover to be the 3rd against Newberry here in this early going. Newberry coming and jumping into full court man-to-man. Dixon trailing the play. She can trail and be the 0.5 if you wish. 14-6 Tusculum. Rogers into the front court. Left side will be Arnwine. Arnwine stops, shoots, bang. Three-pointer by Arnwine on the left wing. 17-6 Tusculum, equaling their largest lead here of this contest. Right side front court, back out to the top is Bongiorno. Bongiorno, the Florida international transfer, bounces it off to Pearson on the left wing, gets it back to Bongiorno. Bongiorno, crossover dribble to the baseline, kicks it back out to Wisely as she's double-teamed. Bongiorno gets it back from Wisely, will pull up off the dribble for two. That one's no good, and Arnwine grabs the rebound. She'll sprint it into the front court, creates 2-on-2. Diagonal pass to Rogers, nowhere to go with it, but she'll kick it out to Patty for three. No. Rebounded by Belton. Reverse. No. Belton battling for the rebound again, gets it back, and Patty is going to be fouled. Great action underneath after the initial miss for the Pioneers. Maya Belton grabs yet another board, tried the reverse wraparound, but hit the underpinning of the backboard, but got it back and kicked it out to Patty, who is then fouled as she made her move to the rim. This personal foul will be whistled against Newberry's Holly Davis. So Davis will pick up her first. So back into the game, Malaysia Gates, the fourth-year junior out of Batesburg-Leesville, South Carolina, and will enter for Pearson. Tusculum will inbound baseline front court. On the left wing, Rogers inbounds it and gets it back and takes it to the top of the key. On the top, watched by Holly Davis. Arnwine, little crossover on Virgo. Into the corner is Patty. She'll go baseline. Stops her dribble. Gates won't give her much room. Dixon realizes there's 2 seconds to shoot it. Fires it and does draw iron, but the rebound into the hands of Newberry after the missed shot. Newberry, good defensive stop into the front court offensively to Gates at the top of the key. Gates on the dribble around Patty, down the lane. Rejected by Bree Dixon. Dixon came late and got the rejection as Gates thought she had an uncontested lay-in. So Dixon will get a breather, and MJ Eubanks will be into the contest for the Pioneers, the 6'1" true freshman out of Murfreesboro. Davis on the inbound, lobbing it to Stolberg. Stolberg lobbing it down low. Bongiorno, altered by Belton, rebounded by Patty of Tusculum. 17-6 Tusculum after Bongiorno can't hit from about 3 feet. And a traveling violation whistle against the Pioneers. So they'll turn it over. Just their second. Pioneers 7 of 17 to open this game. They're on a 6-0 run. Newberry's missed their last 4 shots, and they haven't scored in the last 2.5 minutes. After they went on a 6-0 run, only answering the Pioneers' opening 11-0 run. Inside the paint, Newberry, another paint touch for Stolberg. She'll bank it in over Eubanks. 17-8 as Rogers will pick up the basketball on the baseline, and full court man-to-man picked up by Newberry, but Patty will walk it into the front court. Bounce pass on the right side. This will be Belton, watched by Gates. Belton hands it off to Patty, takes off down the lane around Gates. A lot of contact, finished through it, banked it in. 19-8. Tusculum off to a great start offensively. Into the front court for Newberry. And it's a refreshing statement because you haven't said that much this year. Left side with the basketball, working it around the perimeter is Newberry. This will be Gates, had it knocked away, gets it back, shoots over Belton, and scores it in the paint. More paint points for Newberry. It hasn't been often, most of them coming at the free throw line. But they have pounded inside the paint against Tusculum, who leads 19-10. Rogers into the front court. They work it around the perimeter to Arnwine. Arnwine from the right wing into the hands of Rogers. Rogers to Belton. Belton, Rogers. Rogers standing near the midcourt stripe. Takes off down the paint. Stops, sets. Awkward shot is no good, and the rebound will be tipped out into the hands of Newberry's Cronin. Cronin, after another good stop by Newberry, gives it to Davis, who takes it into the front court as we go under a minute to play in this opening quarter, with Tusculum leading 19-10. Stolberg around Eubanks. Nice low post pivot move. Puts it up and in. 19-12. And I think for Coach Megan Price, knowing very well Dixon's got to be that person. Her first game of the year, giving her that breather as well. Her first actual game this year. 30 seconds to play in the quarter. Tusculum leads 19-12. It's been a quarter of some runs. Patty in the paint. Belton to Arnwine. Arnwine down the lane, kick out to Rogers. She'll try a 3 from the left wing. Banked it in. Late night banking here in Greenville, and it's 22-12 on the Rogers 3. 10 seconds for Davis into the front court. Davis backs it out at the three-point stripe, lobs it into the paint, too high, stolen. Arnwine with 4. Lobs it up ahead for Rogers. Belton can't get a shot away, and that will end the opening quarter of play. We take a break. We're back in 1 minute for the second quarter. And at the end of one, it's Tusculum 22, Newberry 12, as you listen to Pioneer Basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Do you know that Corley's Pharmacy on Snap Ferry Road compounds your personalized prescriptions without breaking the bank? Do you know that unlike big box
we are in
stores,
Grant
you can
County,
get
Tennessee.
prescriptions filled in less than
Pierce
10
Farms,
minutes?
and
Need
the Pierce
delivery?
family has been
Corley's
working with
Pharmacy on
Ingles for
Snap
over 30
Ferry Road
years.
will deliver your
It means a great
prescriptions
deal
anywhere in Greene
supplying
County for free.
produce
Visit Corley's
as a local
Pharmacy
farmer.
located
It
at
really
1004
touches
Snap
base knowing
Ferry
that we're
Road
just
today
simple
for all your
people
family's
just trying to help.
prescriptions.
And we love what we do. And
Hi,
Ingles is a
this is
huge part of
Mr.
helping.
Mortgage Investor
Farming is who we are.
Greenville's number one FHA lender.
God has really blessed
And I want to
us
be
with the
your
sons and
home
daughters
loan
of
lender.
estimated you'll find
Are you
it.
buying a new home? Need to
I
lower
believe
your
it's
home
really
loan payment? Need to pull some
So if
cash
you're
out of
in
the
Grant
equity in your
County,
home?
farm tomatoes,
Mortgage
you're-
Investors of
you're in.
Greenville work for you. Call me
It's
at
a great blessing on us to
429-4399
farm and be
or go
able
to
to farm and
nickhershey.com.
supply
Equal housing
tomatoes.
lender, license
Ingles really cares about family
1091.
farms like Pierce Farm. And they really
Pioneer
care about the
Basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network. Tusculum versus Newberry. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers, Ryan Staten.
22-12, Tusculum leading Newberry here in this opening quarter. Tusculum hits 9 of 20 shots, 45%. Newberry 4 for 11, 36%. Tusculum 2 for 8 from 3. Newberry attempted 1, missed it. Both teams are perfect from the stripe. I think the difference is, which is surprising to me, 6 offensive rebounds for Tusculum, just 1 for Newberry. Elsewhere in the league, Carson-Newman leads Mars Hill 23-6. LMU leads UVA-Wise 8-6. Queens leads Wingate, 21-10, and LR leads Anderson 16-8. Holy moly. Here, 22-12, Tusculum. Dixon back on the floor. Kicks it outside to Patty. Baseline 3. They're going to say she stepped out of bounds. And maybe even traveled. I'm not sure. The official's indication was so quick. 9:38 to play here in this opening quarter. Opening half. Tusculum winners of 5 of the last 6 against Newberry. They have lost 5 of their last 6 this season. They come in 2-7, 2-5 in the league. The Pioneers 3-7, 1-5 in the league. Stolberg in the paint. Jumper is no good. Got it back. Contended again by Dixon. Got it back. And then Dixon battling to block yet another shot from Stolberg is going to be fouled. This time not by Dixon, but by Arnwine, who came and tried to provide some help. So Stolberg will go back to the free throw line for the Newberry Wolves. Stolberg missing on her first opportunity. 72% from the free throw line this season, averaging 7.6 points per contest. Grabbing about 5 rebounds a game. Got a second chance opportunity, not once but twice on that possession. She'll go 1 for 2. And the Pioneers lead 22-13. Into the front court, Rogers. Arnwine, baseline 3. Bang. Pioneers beating the press, throwing over the top of it. Arnwine's 6th point. 25-13 Tusculum. They have their largest lead of the game. In the front court is Newberry, and they swing it around the front court too much and throw it out of play. Turnover on the Wolves. It'll be their 5th turnover of the half. Newberry just 4 of 13 from the field to start. Again, one of the lowest field goal percentage teams in the league. They're last at 33% shooting on the year. Left side front court, Bree Dixon. Dixon with it. Stays with it on the dribble from one side of the elbow to the other, then kicks it outside to Patty. Patty to Belton. Belton, Patty. Arnwine on the baseline, same spot, same result. Bang. 28-13. Jayla Arnwine's hit back-to-back threes. And Newberry with it into the front court, down 15. Top of the key, into the paint. Stolberg again around Dixon, this time leaning into Dixon and picking up Dixon's 2nd personal foul. So they continue to pound the paint, and they attacked. It doesn't matter who's in there, whether it's Eubanks or whether it's Dixon. Tusculum again without Alyssa Walker, who had been the starting five for the most part for the Pioneers. Without Sophie Henry, who had been the starting one all season because of the injury at Lander. Also had the same situation, her and Walker injured in the same game. But getting back Jayla Arnwine after a concussion protocol and Bree Dixon after missing the first semester. Stolberg goes 1 for 2. 28-14 Tusculum. Ending the 6-0 run, really the Jayla Arnwine 2 3-pointer run with the 1 free throw. 8 minutes to play here in this opening half. Rogers, watched by Davis, picks up the dribble, gets it to Belton. Belton, crossover dribble, down the lane. Floater is too strong. The rebound battled for him. Belton's going to be whistled for a foul coming over the top. So Belton has 2 and Dixon has 2. Seeing Coach Price here not really worry about the 2 fouls. It's when they get to 3. We'll find out what happens. See if they alter their game any. I doubt Newberry alters theirs any. It will be a pound-the-paint type attack. Virgo out at the top to Bongiorno. Bongiorno down the lane on the right side, driving on Belton. Missed the shot. The rebound is out of bounds. It'll be off of Newberry. Belton didn't really back off in any of her defensive pressure that time on Bongiorno, who tried to take her off the dribble with those 2 fouls. Pioneer basketball, they lead by 14, 7:40 to play in this opening half. Arnwine will fake a 3 this time from the same spot. I guess she didn't want to tempt fake. Pass out to Patty, whose pass finds Rogers, who takes off down the lane, who is fouled. Light contact against Virgo there. I will at least say that. I mean, it is the least I can say. Very light contact. Rogers will earn a trip to the free throw line for the Pioneers. Jordan, the 5'5 junior out of Grand Prairie, Texas, out of C.F. Brewer High School by way of UT Permian Basin at the free throw line for Tusculum, shooting 2. Her first is no good. 68% on the year from the free throw line for Rogers, and over the last 7 games is averaging just about 11 points per contest. She'll miss both free throws here. The Pioneers lead 28-14. Rebounded by Newberry, and into the front court comes Davis for the Wolves. Top of the key is Virgo. Virgo into the hands of Roberts. Lobbing it into the paint. Stolberg against a mismatch, and she, I think, dropped it. She kind of let it go early, and Rogers just stood her ground. Backdoor pass from Bree Dixon to Patty, who lays it up and in on the fast break. 30-14 Tusculum with their largest lead of the game. Stolberg again, now this time on Dixon. Backs her way in on the paint. Nice little shoulder juke right to the rim and in. Stolberg displaying some very nice low post pivot moves. 30-16 Tusculum. Rogers, Dixon across the stripe into the front court. Back to Rogers, who got away with an extra step. Rogers travels every time she catches the ball. 6.5 to play. First half. Top of the key is Dixon. Dixon with it, just holding it. Back out to Arnwine. Arnwine, Dixon. She'll try a 3, right wing. No good. And the rebound comes down to Davis of Newberry. Wolves on the run into the front court, down 14. Bongiorno had it. Rogers tying it up. And the arrow to stay with Newberry. Into the contest returning Erica Wisely to give Stolberg a breather. Also returning into the game will be Malaysia Gates. And will come in for Virgo. Pioneers lead 30-16. They've hit 48% of their shots, one of their best shooting performances in a half. And here's a steal. Patty comes up with the steal on Bongiorno. She is 1v2. She'll take it right to the rim. And Bongiorno with the rejection. It'll be an inbound situation for the Pioneers, and they'll inbound on their baseline front court. 6:06 on the clock here in this opening half. And Tusculum will inbound. It'll be Rogers to do so. Rogers will throw it out to the top of the key near Arnwine, and Arnwine will reset the half court. Standing in the circle, center of the floor. Arnwine just takes the 3. Bang. No one came and defended her. She just decided, well, I'm wide open. 33-16, and Tusculum with their largest lead attained once again. Left side front court, this will be Davis, picks up her dribble, throws it into the paint to Wisely, fronting Bree Dixon, and now working with her back against Dixon. In the paint, the ball is loose, and Dixon has it, and it's stolen by Tusculum. Belton, long pass up ahead to Patty, stopping, shooting, missing. Missing from the left block, and I think if she just continued her motion right to the rim, she scores easily. Easy for me to say, right? Bongiorno missing on the drive, but there's Wisely to clean it up, and she'll put it up after an offensive rebound. Well, that's what they've done, leading the league basically in second chance points and offensive rebounds, and the offensive rebound is their fourth, and it gives them their 18th point on the putback by Wisely. 33-18. Dixon, hesitation three, bang. Another three for the Pioneers, and this offense is flowing with the return of Arnwine and Dixon. Arnwine with 12, Dixon now with 7. Bongiorno out to Gates. On the baseline drive around Patty. Floater is no good. There's Belton comes up with the rebound. Tusculum basketball, they lead 36-18. Again, attaining their largest lead of this game, now of 18 points. 4.5 to play in this opening half. Bree Dixon will back it out near the midcourt stripe. 14 of 29 for Tusculum. They're 48%. Newberry 6 of 19. Tusculum has attempted 10 more shots. Dixon going to have it taken away by Bongiorno, who starts the break, has Rogers to beat, will drive it down the floor, and Rogers will commit the foul. Bongiorno will have to earn it at the stripe when we come back after the timeout. A timeout on the floor, back in 1 minute to Pioneer Arena. 4:14 to play here in this opening half. It's Tusculum 36 and Newberry 18. Pioneer basketball continues after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
New furniture before the holidays? Stop in at Robert's Furniture in downtown Greenville.
Very rare pause for a legal ID when we come back from the commercial.
And a whole lot more. So what are you waiting for? Hip Hop Group Tag.
200.
Let me come back from the commercial, and then I'll ask for it.
Gotcha. I'll play it then when you ask for it.
Furniture and Mattress Gallery in downtown Greenville.
From all of us at Roberts Furniture, thank you for an incredible year and Merry Christmas.
9/11 brought it home to all of us. Our police and firefighters really deserve all the support and gratitude that we can give. They're willing to sacrifice their own safety for ours. Greenville Federal Bank, member FDIC. Banking made easy.
Welcome back to the Pioneer Sports Network. Pioneer basketball. Tusculum versus Newberry. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers.
Pioneers lead 36-18. Stolberg for Newberry has 12. Tusculum's Arnwine with 12. Patty with 9 and Dixon with 7. MJ Eubanks will be in for Dixon at the moment. Maya Belton out there with Patty, Rogers, and Arnwine. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification as you listen to Pioneer Basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Pioneer Basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network with the voice of the Pioneers, Brian Staten. On Sports Radio 1450 WSMG, Greenville.
Bongiorno makes both for Newberry right out of the timeout. Makes one of two, missing the first, making the second. 36-19, Tusculum. They're shooting 48% from the field. They're shooting 48% from three against a team that only allows teams to shoot 26% three-point percentage defense on the year. Arnwine, Eubanks, backing her way in. Just into the contest has come Remery Lamb, and Lamb getting the block on Eubanks. Chloe Warrington will be in. This will be her first time in the game for Maya Belton. Warrington has provided a huge punch for this team offensively off the bench. Her next three-pointer will be her 200th of her career. Patty is going to travel. She grabs the basketball and is somewhat shoved to the floor. More or less just kind of lost her footing. So it's a turnover on the Pioneers. Newberry basketball with 3:45 to play until halftime. Right side front court, back out at the top. On the foul line is going to be Remery Lamb. Gives it back to Gates. Gates driving on Warrington, who draws the foul, and Gates will earn a trip to the free throw line. So Warrington will be whistled for her first. And here in this second quarter, the Pioneers with 14 fouls. So here comes Elle Hutchinson back into the game. Will come in for Lexi Patty. Patty will exit with those 9 points, 4 of 8 from the field. 3 rebounds for Patty. Gates to the free throw line. Her first free throw is off the mark. It's no good. Gates on the year, just under 60% from the stripe, 7 points per contest. Makes 1 of 2 as she makes the second. And the Pioneers now lead 36-20. Elle Hutchinson across the stripe on the dribble for the Pioneers. Missed all of last year with injury and has been slow into the lineup so far this year. Arnwine for a whistle and a foul as Eubanks just holding her ground, and Gates trying to fight through. It'll be whistled for the foul. And it was a bit aggressive. I'll say the least. Very aggressive. Just the second foul in the quarter against Newberry. Hutchinson will inbound the basketball for the Pioneers in front of the Newberry bench. On the inbound, top of the key is Arnwine. 3:20 on the clock. Tusculum leads 36-20. Warrington, a deep three. No, that one's off the mark. Eubanks grabs the rebound for the Pioneers in the paint. The jumper is no good, but she draws the foul. Remery Lamb will be whistled for the foul. It will be her first and the team's third. So Eubanks had a solid game against Carson Newman. Her first career start came against Wise. She played 8 minutes with 2 rebounds, though, in that contest. Had a 7-point game, 6 minutes against Limestone, but had 11 points and 5 rebounds in the 26 minutes against Carson Newman. Shoots just 61% from the free throw line on the year. Unable to hit and connect on her first. Does make her second. 37-20 Tusculum. Stolberg back into the game. Pearson into the game for Newberry. Remery Lamb will exit. Solid first game of the year to this point for Dixon, who's on the bench with 2 fouls, getting a breather. 2 fouls doesn't bother Coach Price. She'll probably re-enter if the game gets under 10, potentially. Gates on the dribble and will travel. Tried to stop her momentum, could not very effectively, and will turn the ball back over. The team that leads the league in turnovers. Lexi Patty is in as Jayla Arnwine back after a 2-game absence, dealing with that concussion. Back on the floor for the Pioneers. Warrington in the backcourt, dribbles it across the midcourt stripe into the right wing, now onto the baseline. This will be Eubanks against Stolberg. Her shot attempt is no good, but Eubanks battling to get it back, fighting through an elbow, is going to be whistled for a foul. And that'll be the 5 fouls against Tusculum, and so 2 free throws coming for Stolberg, some 85 feet from the bucket. So Maya J picking up her first and the 5th on the team. So Stolberg at the free throw line for Newberry, with Tusculum leading 37-20. Mass substitutions, frantic substitutions by Newberry throughout this entire first half, just trying to find the right 5. Is Coach Tincher. Stolberg has been solid all game. I'd start with her and leave her out there. 13 for her now in the game as she converts on the very first free throw. And the second is also good. Oh, and a whistle for a foul. And then there's a foul on Newberry. Sorry. You're going to count the free throw, but then give Bongiorno a foul. That'll be her second. I didn't see it, obviously. So the 4th team foul on Newberry. 2:35 to play in the first half. Hutchinson into the front court, gets it around Davis. Eubanks to Patty. It's an interesting 5 on the floor for Coach Price, who is not keen on substituting very much in a game. She settles in on 5, and that's kind of it. 10 seconds to shoot. Rogers carries it. Got it up a little bit high above the head as she tried to cut. Rogers out there with Hutchinson, Warrington, Eubanks, and Patty. Like, they weren't even in the conversation at the beginning of the year. It's so funny how these things worked out. Stolberg inside, outside to Bongiorno. Bongiorno is watched by Warrington. Bongiorno at the foul line off the dribble will pass it back out to Davis. Davis will take a three. It's good. Davis knocking down the three, and here comes Newberry. They're down 12. Into the front court is Rogers. Rogers on the dribble between the rings, center of the floor. Tusculum's turned it over 6 times, and now Newberry has 10 points off those 6 turnovers. Patty into the paint. Lost it. Tried to get it back. Does to Warrington. 10 seconds to shoot. Now back out into the hands of Rogers. 8 seconds. We're a minute and a half to the half. Rogers dumping it down for Hutchinson. Rejected by Stolberg. Bodies everywhere as the loose ball picked up by Virgo. And into the front court, she'll take it. Newberry on a surge here at the end of the first half. And a whistle for a foul against Eubanks dealing with Stolberg. And here it is, that potential 10-point plateau. And here comes Arnwine and Dixon back into the game. Yeah, we're leaking oil offensively mightily. Also, Maya Belton back in. A minute 21 to the half. You don't want to go to the half. As Newberry currently right now, well, Tusculum's 0 for their last 3.5 minutes. Like, they're 0 for 4. No field goals in the last 3.5 minutes. So Newberry to the stripe is Stolberg. Her first free throw is strong and no good. Second free throw attempt by Stolberg is no good. Rims twice. And the rebound down to Maya Belton. Pioneer basketball, 1:15 to the half as Tusculum leads 37-25. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll get our men's basketball scout with one of the Pioneer assistant coaches, Deontay Ferguson or Justin Chartrand, and that'll be coming your way at halftime of this women's basketball game. Dixon takes off down the lane, off the glass, too strong with the layup attempt, and the rebound comes down to Virgo. Into the front court is Virgo, sprinting it under a minute to play here in the first half. Davis with it, hitting her first shot of the game just seconds ago from 3, the only 3 of the game for Newberry to this point. Skip it out. Virgo tries a 3. That one's good. Virgo with the 3 ball, and back comes Newberry. Down 18. It's to within 9. Across the stripe front court, Rogers passes to Dixon, hands it off to Arnwine. 25 seconds in the half. Difference of about 4 seconds, game clock and shot clock. Dixon working against Stolberg. Takes off down the lane again. Will draw the foul, but can't finish. But Dixon just fronting. And the foul is actually going to go against Holly Davis. So Davis will pick up the foul. It'll be her second. Wisely into the game. So 16.5 on the clock, and Dixon will go to the stripe. Dixon, a career 65% free throw shooter. Last year shot 71% for the Pioneers from the free throw line. Newberry's on an 8-0 run. Tusculum's missed their last 5 shots, and they haven't scored in 3 minutes until now. Dixon gets her 8th point on her first free throw make. And with 16.5, Tusculum up by 10. And it's still 10. Second free throw missed. Rebounded by Davis. 13 seconds. Davis across the stripe. Newberry's hit back-to-back 3s, their first 2 of the game. Davis has hit one of them, has the ball now, driving it in the paint. Kicks it out. Baseline, this will be Roberts. Baseline, this will be Pearson. Her 3 at the buzzer is no good. And we have reached halftime from Pioneer Arena. Tusculum races out to an 11-0 start. Newberry rallies, cuts the deficit, then Tusculum builds an 18-point lead to watch Newberry in the first half on a surge, but they'll go to the locker room down 10 to this Pioneer basketball team. We have reached halftime with your score, Tusculum 38, Newberry 28. We return in 90 seconds as you listen to Pioneer basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network.
If you need new furniture before the holiday,
news is 5 minutes.
Town Greenville.
All
We
right.
have a huge selection that is ready to load or deliver.
And if you're looking for the perfect gift that will last for years to come,
Yes. 4:30 in one spot.
and don't forget,
All right, got
Roberts has kids recliners too.
a team that is led by Jason Taylor, a guy that I well respect in the South Atlantic Conference because he was with Anderson and did some yeoman-like things there. And to have him back in the league, I think he'll take Newberry to some great heights. A team for us, Justin, we didn't really, I think, respond Saturday. I was in conference and I was watching and following the game, and I realized very early, it's like, well, we haven't shown up to play, just yet. And I guess that's the difficult thing, how to get this team every single night ready to go. But we're a veteran team, so it should be pretty easy, right?
Yeah, you say that, and it's funny. I think this is the thing we've been talking about, and we've had to kind of preach to our guys coming into this. Heavy lineup, but what these guys got to understand is now you've got some pressure to your shoulders you're carrying in every game. You're not the bottom of the conference anymore, and teams respect you and what you've done here the last couple of years, and that's a credit to you guys. But at the same time, you got to uphold to that, and so I think it's early, and are there the new pieces that, even though they've got some experience playing college ball, the new pieces to our team, they're figuring that out.
Right. Yeah. I like that from a lot of these kids. There's still some young kids on this team. There's still some new pieces on this team. They're still trying to figure out that way. And I think with the veterans that go along that way, hopefully they can move them along as well. All right, let's talk about Newberry just a little bit. It's been a great start for us. Newberry didn't get off to that type of start, but they've really turned it around. What are some of the things that they're doing right now that they maybe weren't doing, whether it just be finally making some shots or finally getting some rebounds? What is it that they've kind of done to turn some things around here?
Well, you can see, I think a lot of it has to do with your intensity on defense. I mean, they play a pack line defense, and they're going to play where they switch 1 through 5. And one thing they do a really good job of is in that defense is they do a great job scrambling out and getting the shooters. And the intensity, I think, the last 4 game versus when they started the season, it wasn't quite. There was a difference, and I think it was a noticeable difference, and you could see from watching their early games on film to where they're playing at now. You watch their game against Queens, even their game against Carson Newman. I mean, they are just not getting driven, and that's hard when you're playing in a game and you're playing a team where you feel like, man, you really have to take these outside shots, because if you drive, you're getting help, it seems like, from every direction. You're getting help from your backside. You're getting help from your front. I mean, and you got a guy in front of you on top of that. They do a really good job digging the ball out on the drive, and anytime the ball's going in the post, they're going to trap. And, I mean, they are really poised to say, you know what, I don't think the teams in this league shoot it well enough consistently to beat us from the 3, and that's kind of been their approach defensively, I think. But they, by the same token, do an exceptional job of closing out to shooters and at least giving it a contest. And I think that's why you see them on the win streak, and they are second in the league in defensive points per game allowed.
It is a team for us. We shoot it pretty well, and I think, is there a chance of even bringing them out of that and forcing them to try to defend the perimeter because we can't shoot from three-point territory?
I definitely think it's that they will make adjustments, and it's like you said, you have respect for Coach Taylor. I do as well. Coach Taylor is one of the best that I've seen coming into this conference, and just what he's done so far at Newberry, and he's only going to continue to do, and even better as he continues to get those guys to adapt to his culture. And Newberry's one of those teams, they'll make adjustments. So if we start hitting shots from the outside, they're going to try to see, I think, can you do it for a full 40 minutes? And I think that's what you saw. Carson Newman, they had him down 15, and Carson was hitting some shots and whatnot, but it's like they stuck to the game plan. Carson got a little cold from the field. They tried to drive it, and Newberry, to their credit, did a great job getting the ball out and creating turnovers and letting their defense create some offense. And so that's going to be the thing tonight, is with our guys, like, hey, you got to be consistent. We've been preaching consistency. You got to continue to hit the skips. If you feel like you're a little cold from the outside, then drive that late closeout, and there's nothing wrong with shooting a mid-range jumper. There's nothing wrong with trying to go to the rim and get a foul and at least see the ball go in for your confidence. So we've been really preaching with that with our guys, of like, hey, we're not saying pass up open shots, but by any means, don't feel like you got to keep shooting it. Don't settle if you feel like you need to get and just see the ball go in the hole.
Meanwhile, our defense, I think it was the shock against Wingate. They put up some points, so what has to be different tonight for us to be successful?
Just got to have energy. We got to do a way better job matching them and being able to play and and just being able to talk and communicate. We've got to be able to come into tonight and communicate 1 through 5. Newberry's going to run a lot of stuff out of the half court, and we've got to be able to talk and get over screens, and they're going to roll hard. They're going to play through their post a lot. The big guy, McCollum, their 2 guards are really good at coming off the bounce and making a play, and T.J. Brown and Marcus Ford. We got to contain those 2 guys, and you got to contain the big guy that's 6th in the nation in offensive rebounds, and you got to keep him off the glass. So I think for us, the biggest thing is you can't be driven. You got to win your ones. That's our saying across the locker room is, win your ones. And tonight we have to win our ones. This is a team, again, you look at their percentages, they don't shoot it all that well, but man, they will hurt you nonetheless if you let them rebound the ball and you let them get in the lane. That's when they're most effective.
Hey, best of luck. Thanks for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brian.
He's Justin Chartrand, the Pioneers and Newberry Game 2 of our doubleheader. Back with more halftime in 1 minute here from Pioneer Arena. At the half, it's Tusculum 38, Newberry 28. Pioneer basketball continues on the Pioneer Sports Network. Thanks, sir. You bet. Swear it out. All right. Leads Newberry 38-28. Pioneers got off to a great start. Welcome Bree Dixon into the lineup for the first time this season. Last year, an honorable mention all-conference as her and Jayla Arnwine. Jayla Arnwine had missed the last couple of games. Tusculum got off to the 11-0 lead. It would be 28-13. It would go to 36-18. But a nice job by Newberry closing out the half on a 10-2 run, hitting their first 2 3-pointers of the basketball game in back-to-back possessions to close the deficit to 9, only to have the Pioneers back out to 10. It was 22-12 at the end of the first. Each team's was 16 points in that second quarter. For the Pioneers, they had 14 of 34 shots. They were 9 of 20 in the first, 5 of 14 in the second. They had 41% for the game, 6 of 14 from 3, and they were 4 of 8 at the free throw line. Newberry hit 8 of 22 shots, 36%, 2 for 4 from 3, and 10 of 16 at the free throw line. Tusculum out-rebounded Newberry 19-18 and had 9 offensive boards to Newberry's 5. Tusculum was 7 assists, 6 turnovers, 4 blocks, and 3 steals. Newberry had 3 assists, 8 turnovers, 3 blocks, and 1 steal. Tusculum was led by Jayla Arnwine's 12, 8 points for Bree Dixon, 5.7 rebounds for Maya Belton with 2 blocks, 9 points and 3 rebounds for Lexi Patty, 3 points for Jordan Rogers, and 1 point for MJ Eubanks for their total of 38. 14 points by Tyler Stolberg leads all scorers for Newberry, 3 points for Malaysia Gates, 2 for Erica Wisely, 3 points, 3 boards for Holly Davis, 3 points for Courtney Virgo, 3 points for Julia Bongiorno for their total of 28. Tusculum has a 14-12 edge in points in the paint, 13-10 points off turnovers, and Tusculum 9-3 in second chance points in the basketball game. Tusculum has led throughout. They have never trailed, and they have led by as many as 18 in the first half. We'll check scores around the league when we come back in 30 seconds. This is the Pioneer Halftime Report at the break. Tusculum 38, Newberry 28 on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Now is a great time to take a few smart
28. Let's check scores around the league. Carson Newman leads Mars Hill 48-26. It's Anderson leading Lenore Ryan 32-29. LMU leads Wise 30-27, and Wingate, after an extremely slow start, we're down 21-8. They lead Queens 47-28 at the half. Our second half action resumes right after this and back in 1 minute. Your score at the break, it is Tusculum 38, Newberry 28, as you listen to Pioneer Basketball here on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Unlike big box stores, you can get your prescription.
Network. Brought to you by
Roberts Furniture,
Andrew Johnson Bank,
Hometown Realty and Auction, Marathon Quick Stop Markets, your Greenville Light.
This billboard's only 22 seconds.
Orleans Pharmacy,
That's all right.
Gateway Ford, Nissan,
Greenville.
Complaint ID.
And now, with the call, the voice of the Pioneers, Brian Staten.
Pioneers leading the Newberry Wolves 38-28 as we get set to start this second half. We hope you'll join us this weekend when the Pioneers travel to Hickory, North Carolina. Tusculum will take on the Lenore Ryan Bears. Join us for coverage at 2 for the women's game. The men's game to follow just 15 minutes before tip-off. We'll have the radio broadcast of that from Hickory, North Carolina, back here on Jewel 955 WSMG. All right, so the Pioneers will play 3 games here over the final 6 days. They'll have Wingate on the road Monday, our final home game pre-Christmas. And then back on the other side of Christmas, January 5th against Wingate. Understand there's supposed to be some time changes for that game as well, but that will be announced later. You can always follow on the webpage through TusculumPioneers.com. We start the second half. Glad you could stay with us. Brian Staten courtside, game station engineers, the executive producer of the Pioneer Sports Network, Nathan Humbert. Jenna Restivo on the TV side of things for the Pioneer Sports Network. As the Pioneers open up the second half with a mistake, but a thank you very much, Maya Belton lay-in. Dixon had the ball knocked away. Belton picked it up in the paint and scored it from the right block. Tusculum up 12, 40-28. Here's a turnover by Newberry. Gates wasn't ready for the pass. Picked up by Dixon. Bounce pass to Hutchinson. Layup attempt is missed. Can't make points in the paint. It's a struggle. It's going to be a long day, but the Pioneers playing with a lot of emotion here to start. So the way the game started is how we're starting the second half. And Erica Wisely gets a low post feed. She'll put it up and in from the right block. Wisely, Bongiorno, Gates, Virgo, and Davis for Newberry. The Pioneers counter with Arnwine, Hutchinson, Patty, Dixon, and Belton. Bounce pass at the top. This is going to be Belton from the right elbow. She'll put it up and in. Maya Belton, back-to-back buckets here in the second half. She has 9, and Tusculum leads 42-30. Into the front court on the right side will be Davis for the Wolves. They move left to right on your radio dial as we view it here in the second half. On the top of the key, bounce, skip it to the right side to Davis. Bongiorno, and a lot of contact, will take the 5-foot jumper on the baseline, put it up and in. 42-32, Tusculum leading Newberry. Into the front court, this will be El Hutchinson. Hutchinson on the dribble on the right side. Driving it baseline, hands it off to Patty. Patty reversing to Belton. Baseline 3, bang. Maya Belton has scored all 7 of the Pioneers' points out of the gate here in the second half. And a timeout's going to be asked for by the Newberry Wolves. We'll take that break as well. We return in 1 minute here to Greenville. 8:02 to play in this third quarter. It's Tusculum 45 and Newberry 32 as you listen to Pioneer Basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Monthly payments and a cash out.
of Business at Tusculum University. I'm proud to share with you that the programs in the College of Business received accreditation through ACBSP in December of 2018. The Accreditation Council for Business Schools and Programs accredits business schools and programs worldwide. This accreditation elevates our programs to the top programs worldwide.
Pioneers lead 45-32. Newberry creeping into that field goal percentage. They have shot the ball very well right there at the end of that second quarter. They're 10 of 24 from the floor, 42%. But Maya Belton is perfect to start the second half. Newberry out of the timeout. They have 2 remaining. Throws it inside the paint. Now back out to Bongiorno. Trying that high-low action. Now skip it out on the baseline. This will be Roberts. Roberts, their leading scorer off the bench on the year. Gets it out to Bongiorno. Will try a 3. That one's off the mark and no good. And a rebound foul that's going to go against, I think, Arnwine. So Jayla's going to pick up her second and the first on the team here in the second half after the missed 3 by Bongiorno. Newberry will inbound baseline front court. On the inbound, back out onto the right wing. This will be Roberts, who will drive it into the paint, missed the shot, rebounded by Belton into the hands of Dixon. Dixon racing it into the front court. Right around Virgo, but lost the handle and turns it over. Gives it up to Davis, who sprints it into the front court. On the right wing, this will be Bongiorno. Trailing the play is Virgo, left open for 3. That one's no good, and a rebound foul this time against Newberry. As Lexi Patty had good position, and it was Talia Roberts who comes up with that personal foul. Into the contest will be Stolberg for Wisely. So 45-32, Tusculum. Newberry coming with that backcourt pressure. Hutchinson will take it across the stripe. Handed off to Patty. Patty to Dixon. Backdoor look, and it's nicely read by Virgo. Comes up with the steal for Newberry. Virgo racing it into the front court. Stopping, picking up her dribble, gets it to Roberts. Roberts into the paint. This will be Stolberg. Stolberg knocked away by Dixon. Stolberg gets it back, though. Then drives it to the left block. Turns, shoots in the center of the paint, and the shot is off the back rim. No good. Rebounded by, Maya Belton. Belton closing in on yet another double-double for Tusculum. 45-32 for the Pioneers here in this third quarter. Dixon goes behind the back, gets it to Belton. Layup attempt is no good, and the rebound comes down to Newberry. Belton took a hit when she went against Stolberg, who is still down as well for the Wolves. Davis driving at baseline. Stolberg now to her feet, joins her team in the front court. Roberts hits a 3, and the Wolves have trimmed it back to 10. 45-35 as Dixon will take it across the stripe. And Stolberg can't go. So a timeout's going to be asked for here, I think, by the Pioneers. That'll take us to the media break. We're back in 1 minute. 6:05 to play in the third. It's Tusculum 45 and Newberry 35. This is Pioneer Basketball here on the Pioneer Sports Network.
The first date. Only one chance to make that first impression. Don't worry, this might be new for you, but Ingles has been there before. From flowers to the freshest ingredients, we have everything you need to put your best foot forward.
I'm so sorry.
Remember, you can't get to happily ever after without once upon a time. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best.
Ball on the Pioneer Sports Network. Tusculum versus Newberry. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers, Ryan.
45-35, Tusculum out of the timeout. 6 minutes to play in the third. Maya Belton, who has all 7 points in the second half for the Pioneers, gives it up to Dixon. Dixon back to the bucket, watched by Rummery Lamb. Takes off into the paint. Jordan Rogers, kick out 3 for Patty. In and out, no good. Belton comes up with the rebound and a second chance opportunity for the Pioneers. Maya Belton has that double-double. 12 points, 10 rebounds. Once again, her third in the last 4 games. Patty takes off in the paint. A little step around. Oh, my goodness, what'd they call? That's bad. That is really, really bad. That is a foul whistled against Lexi Patty on an offensive foul. That's terrible. Wow. 45-35. Newberry with the basketball, down 10. Right side front court is Davis. Back out Rummery Lamb. From the left elbow, spinning on Dixon into the paint, and they'll get her for a travel. She could not stop. All 3 officials called it, but nobody indicated what it was. So that's bad, too. That's bad mechanics. I'll say that, too, all right? I gave them a hard time earlier, and now I'll say they didn't even say what the infraction was. Pioneer basketball, it's another turnover. Turnovers, 10-9. Newberry with 10. They lead the league in turnovers a game at 23. This will be Patty on a switch. Pull-up jumper from the foul line is no good, but another offensive rebound by Belton. And I'm not sure how she traveled. She came down with 1 foot, came down with another. And then threw the ball out back out top of the key. But another offensive rebound, but another turnover on the Pioneers. 45-35, Tusculum by 10. At the top is Bongiorno for Newberry. Virgo, Davis. Davis on the left wing. Fakes a 3. Rummery Lamb with it at the top. She'll take off into the paint, spin her way down the lane, put it up, and rim it in. Rummery Lamb with the nice low post pivot move. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul as Rogers, maybe a little bit of a flop there as well. And the foul going against Davis for Newberry, which will be her third and the team's second. Newberry is to within 8. They were within 9 after the Pioneers opened up an 18-point lead in the first half. Belton takes off in the paint. Runner, good. Maya Belton has scored all 9 in the second half for the Pioneers, and she has 14 points. Gambling for the steal is Patty. It leaves Virgo open for 3. Rummery Lamb had the rebound and a jump ball and the arrow to stay with the Wolves on simultaneous possession after that offensive rebound. So Newberry will inbound the basketball. Baseline front court. And a whistle for a foul. I think this is on Belton. It was away from me. It was a hold. So Belton has picked up her third personal foul. And team foul number 3 as well. Or who did they get? L. Hutchinson? Not even out on the floor. I'm not sure. I think it was on Belton. But they have given it to L. Hutchinson, which wouldn't be true. Little scoop shot by Davis off the mark is no good. The rebound comes down and into the hands of Arnwine for Tusculum. Belton with another offensive rebound and a kick out to the midcourt stripe to Arnwine. 47-37. Left side front court into the hands of Arnwine. Here's Dixon with 9 to shoot. She'll try 3. Bang. Bree Dixon inside and outside for the Pioneer senior. First game of the season and having a big game. The 3 makes it 50-37 Tusculum. After it was down to 8, the Pioneers have responded, and the first person not named Maya Belton for Tusculum to score in the second half is Bree Dixon. Rummery Lamb down the lane. This will be an offensive foul. She lowered the shoulder and put it right square in the chest of Bree Dixon. So big call right there as Dixon could have picked up her third, but Rummery Lamb just lowered the shoulder and plowed her way through Dixon on her way to the rim. By the way, she made the shot. It was a great finish. It just, to get there, she went through Dixon. 14 for Belton, 12 for Arnwine, and 20 for Dixon. 3/5 of that tournament championship winning team from a year ago, and it's the first time that Coach Price has really had that type of moxie, I guess you could say, this season without having Dixon this year. But here's Lexi Patty's been a very nice surprise here in her first year with Tusculum. Arnwine outside to Belton for 3. That one's no good. The weak side rebound tracked down by Davis, but good ball movement. Into the front court will be Davis. Takes off right down the lane, put it up off the glass and put it in. Davis goes coast to coast. Rogers trying to answer. She'll take it into the front court. To the right side is Belton. To the left side is Arnwine. They give it to Belton. She travels on her move to the rim. 2:30 left in the half. And into the contest for the first time will be Tyler Paraha. And now they're dealing with an official timeout. Tusculum leads at 50-39. The Pioneers are 19 of 45 from the field, 42%. Newberry's 13 of 33 for 39% here in this basketball game. The Pioneers out rebounding Newberry 26-23 and have a 12-7 edge in the offensive rebounds, and second chance points have a 12-3 advantage. And again, that's pretty much a shocker if you want to be perfectly honest. Into the front court, Bongiorno for Newberry out of the brief stoppage. Cronin, Stolberg back out there. That's good news for Newberry. Paraha down the lane, had it knocked away by Rogers, and then reaching in, she'll commit the personal foul. Tyler out of Melbourne, Australia, picking up her first. Team foul number 4. Into the front court, this will be Jordan Rogers for Tusculum. Moving it across the midcourt stripe. Paraha comes very aggressively to defend her. Dixon to Arnwine, and now to Patty. Bouncing it to Dixon. Dixon, worked over by Stolberg. Goes baseline. They double team her, but Dixon can't finish at the rim. Rebound taken by Newberry Stolberg, and here comes Paraha into the front court. 1:40 to play in the third. On the right side is Bongiorno, lobbing it to Stolberg on the right baseline. Back out, left side to the baseline. 3 ball by Cronin is good. All in rhythm for Newberry. And it's 50-42, and it's back to an 8-point Pioneer lead. They've led by 18 as Newberry has come with this man-to-man full court pressure. Rogers into the front court, runs into Paraha, and then gives it up. This will be Belton. Belton to Arnwine. And again, Newberry's defense starting to settle in just a bit here. They're starting to make some shots. Arnwine has not been given the type of room, and Bongiorno is going to be whistled for a foul. So that will be number 3 on her for the Rome, Italy native by way of Florida International University. It will be 2 shots on the double bonus for the Pioneers. It'll be Arnwine standing at the free throw line, averaging 15 points over the last 4 games. And shooting 42%, 8 for 26 from 3 coming in, but she's been good from 3 today, 4 of 5. They haven't chased her off that 3-point stripe to this point. From the free throw line is looking for her first free throw make of the game. 73% on the year from the stripe, missing on the first. Making the second. 1:06 to the end of the third. Tusculum leads by 9, 51-42. Newberry up to 41% shooting. They've dropped Tusculum to 41%. Davis into the paint, and Rogers going to be whistled for a foul, as Jordan Rogers will be whistled for her first. And team foul number 4 on Tusculum, sending Davis to the free throw line. Davis did a nice job, and again, I think she was a bit hesitant early with the dribble penetration into the paint, but she has been more active doing that here in this third quarter. Into the game returns Wisely for Stolberg, as Coach Tincher has done a nice job, especially her early put in Rummery Lamb early. Davis knocks home the first. She has 6 points. She hits her first free throw of the game on her first attempt of the game. And Tusculum back up by 8. And for the moment remains 8, but Davis somehow gets an offensive rebound for Newberry. Davis will get it back in the corner, and his 3 is no good, but there's Pearson with the weak side offensive rebound for the Wolves. 40 seconds to play here in the third. Tusculum up by 8. Davis uses a screen, offensive foul. Jordan Davis did a nice job to stay in front of Holly Davis, who picks up her 4th personal foul. I said Jordan Davis. I meant Jordan Rogers, as I was trying to say Davis and Rogers and Davis and Rogers. There's common names, so obviously you just get them mixed up because that's just what you do. 38 seconds to play here in the third. Tusculum leading 51-43 after the offensive foul and the turnover. Back to the Pioneers. Rogers will bring it across the stripe. Paraha back into the contest for the Wolves. Here's Lexi Patty bouncing it to Dixon. Dixon hands it off to Arnwine, who takes it back out to the top, watched by Cronin. Down the lane, skips it out to Rogers. Extra pass to Belton for 3. This one's off the mark, but there's Arnwine with an offensive rebound. She's going to be tied up. The arrow's going to stay with Tusculum here in the final 12 seconds. Arnwine just got caught when she picked up the rebound. Should have just ran out of trouble. She has surrounded by Wolves and had an out, but then just kind of got stuck there. Into the contest will come Roberts into the game for Newberry. So the inbound will be Rogers for the Pioneers to Dixon with 12. Dixon against Wisely. They try to pack that line as well for Newberry. They don't want Dixon driving. Dixon is going to drive. She'll put it up off the glass. That's no good. And then a rebound foul, and it will be 2 shots for Newberry, and it will go on Belton, and it'll be her 4th. And she came over the top trying to get that rebound, and that's a tough call because it comes at the very end. It's the right call. And so Maya Belton has number 4 as well. So with 1.1 seconds to play, Gates is going to the stripe. She's shooting 2 on the double bonus on a foul that happened 85 feet from the rim. Gates is no good on the first. Gates attempting her second. And that one is good. It's a 7-point game with 1.1 seconds to play. Kallenberg will be into the contest for the first time. And Belton will probably sit for a bit. Belton has 4 for Newberry. Davis has 4. 2 starters to the bench because of some foul trouble. Dixon, her 3-quarter heave is no good, and we have played 3. Newberry, again, cutting into that deficit. We go to the 4th, back in 1 minute. With your score at the end of 3, Tusculum 51 and Newberry 44. Pioneer basketball continues after this on the Pioneers Sports Network.
Johnson City Toyota is the #1 Toyota dealership in the Tri-Cities because we make buying simple. First, we discount every vehicle every day, and we stand behind what we sell with a lifetime warranty. For more, simply go to johnsoncitytoyota.com.
The first date. Only one chance to make that first impression. Don't worry, this might be new for you, but Ingalls has been there before. From flowers to the freshest ingredients, we have everything you need to put your best foot forward.
I'm so sorry.
Remember, you can't get to happily ever after without once upon a time.
Wow, it's funny running into you.
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome.
Once again, the voice of the Pioneers, Ryan Staten.
We welcome you back into Pioneer Arena here at the end of 3. Tusculum leads 51-44, outscored 16-13 in that quarter. As Newberry hit 6 of 13 shots, Tusculum just 5 of 14 shots. Elsewhere around the league, Carson Newman blowing away Mars Hill 77-38. LMU leading Wise 50-43. It is Wingate leading Queens 66-42. And our opponent this Saturday will be LR. They trail Anderson 46-42, starting the 4th. Pioneers lead 51-44, but Newberry has the basketball. Chance for a 2-for-1, ending the 3rd, and an and 1 for Wisely, and the 4th foul on Dixon. So problems mounting for this Pioneer basketball team as Dixon is going to pick up, her third. But Wisely with an and 1 and a chance to cut this deficit to 4. Wisely's free throw is no good. Rebounded by Kallenberg. Tusculum leads 51-46, but they need to score this possession. I say that early in the fourth quarter. Into the front court, this is going to be Rogers. Rogers hands it off to Arnwine to Kallenberg. Kallenberg started early this year for the Pioneers. Inside to Dixon. Dixon working against Wisely. Step through. No, can't finish. And the rebound comes down to Wisely. Just a little more patience. And then Roberts takes off right down the lane and will put it up and in for Newberry. No defense there that time, and it's down to 3. The Wolves have come all the way back from down 18 in the first half, and the Pioneers are going to burn a timeout here very early in the fourth quarter. That'll take us to a timeout and our final break of the game. 9:14 to play here in the contest. It's Tusculum 51, Newberry 48, as you listen to Pioneer Basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Tusculum University is Tennessee's first university. Established in 1794, Tusculum's beautiful campus is nestled in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Students from 31 states and 15 countries have found a home here. With nearly 60 areas of study, Tusculum can help you pioneer your path to success. Visit www.tusculum.edu or call 423-636-7300 to discover the Pioneer experience for yourself.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win.
For our friends and family, we make it easy for you to experience why we are Greenville's hometown pharmacy. Visit Corley's Pharmacy, located at 1004 Snaps Ferry Road today for all your family's prescription needs.
Try us. You'll love it.
This is Tusculum versus Newberry on the Pioneer Sports Network, your home for Pioneer basketball, with the voice of the Pioneers.
Out of the timeout, Arnwine will settle for a 3. Bang! Jayla Arnwine with a 3, and Tusculum in front 54-48. Newberry attacks quickly into the front court. Para into that front court. Baseline 3 ball by Bongiorno. Answers. And Newberry's, no, it's just a 2. Just a 2. Her foot was on the line, but either way, it's a 19-foot 2. So D. Sherman will be into the contest for the Pioneers. Maya Belton in foul trouble with 4. Virgo is back in for Newberry right after Bongiorno hits this long-range 2-pointer. 54-50, Tusculum by 4. Newberry's trimmed it to 3 here in this half. And just moments ago, prior to the Arnwine 3, Arnwine was 16, her first points of the second half. Bouncing it, knocked away, right back to Arnwine. Down into the paint will be Dixon, and she's going to be fouled. Dixon battling inside. Virgo was standing her ground, but then kind of gave ground. And then coming late was Wisely and fouled Dixon. Non-shooting foul, I suppose. Davis for Newberry is coming back in with her 4 fouls. On the inbound, this is going to be Jordan Rogers for the Pioneers. Lobbing it back out to Dixon. Dixon at the top, picked up by Wisely. He's played much better here in this second half defensively against Dixon. Newberry outscoring Tusculum here in this second half, as Dixon's going to run right into Wisely and just create the contact, and Wisely's going to pick up her second foul. Newberry outscoring Tusculum here in this second half, as mentioned, 22-16. Wisely frustrated, didn't think that foul was on her, and Dixon was just trying to create the contact, and definitely did, and was rewarded with a whistle. So Dixon will go to the stripe for the Pioneers. Her first is good. Second free throw for Dixon. And that one is good. 56-50 Tusculum. Newberry with the basketball. Davis into the front court. Here's Roberts. Back to Davis. She'll try a 3. Yes. Davis hit the three on the little switch, and it's back down to three. Newberry comes with pressure. Dixon will take it into the front court. The Wolves have rallied from 18 down. Rogers with the basketball. Now Tusculum must answer. Arnwine on the left wing. Gets a Dixon screen. Dribbles center of the floor. Arnwine doubled. Nearly thrown away as Rogers saves it for the Pioneers. Rogers on the right elbow will pull up for two. That one is no good, and the rebound will be a foul against Patty. So Patty will be whistled for the foul. It will be her third on the missed shot by Rogers and the Gates rebound. And now the Wolves have the basketball back, even after the rebound. And the second team foul on Tusculum here of the quarter. 7:29 to play in the game. Tusculum clinging it to a three-point lead. Right side, this is going to be Davis. Davis, Gates. Now Gates on the left wing inside three-point territory. Out to Roberts. Stolberg to Davis. In the corner is Virgo. Virgo driving baseline. Gates, extra pass to Roberts for the tie. Back iron, no good. Rebound battled for and won by Jayla Arnwine of the Pioneers after it was tipped by Sharamon. Into the front court is Rogers for the Pioneers. Under 7 to play in the game. 56-53, Tusculum by 3. Rogers down the lane and is off balance, draws some contact, will be at the line to shoot two. The personal foul will go against Malaysia Gates. That'll be her second. And the third on the Newberry Wolves. Into the game returns Maya Belton with her 4 personal fouls. So Belton is back in. She opened this second half with the first 9 points of the second half. At the free throw line will go Jordan Rogers for the Pioneers. Good on her first, as she's 0 for 2 prior to that from the free throw line. Had a 14-point night in 21 minutes against Limestone in that loss. Second free throw. Rims off, no good. 57-53 Tusculum. Newberry basketball. Davis with it into the front court. They had a shot at the tie on the last possession, but it wouldn't go. Inside the paint, Dixon with the steal for the Pioneers, starts the break. Gives it up to Rogers. She'll drive it left block, layup, missed. Rebound taken by Newberry as Rogers just misses an easy bunny, as easy a shot as you can get. Makes the impossible ones, but missed that easy one. Davis lobbing it in for Stolberg, and the pass is high, and a foul on Sharamon for a shove. The pass was too high, and Sharamon with the shove in the back. Officials, I think, asking for what the number is. So it'll be Sharamon's first. Team foul number 3 on the Pioneers. Bongiorno back into the game. So a break for Newberry, as this was going to be a turnover. Even if Stolberg wasn't shoved in the back, she wasn't going to get it. But they bail out the Pioneers. Coach Tincher is asking what the deal is with the clock. It's 6:18 on the clock. The clock moves. The inbound, Stolberg, Davis. Davis on the three-point line dancing, driving it into the paint. Virgo driving it, giving it back to Davis. In the paint for Stolberg. 5 to shoot. Stolberg around Sharamon. Count it 1. The foul is on Belton. It's on Belton? Belton wasn't even in the play. She wasn't even in the play. So they're getting Belton for her 5th. Yeah, Sharamon is whistled for this foul. So Sharamon will pick up her second personal foul in as many seconds. And at the free throw line, attempting the three-point play. It's no good by Stolberg, but they get the offensive rebound, potentially to take the lead here in this half. Right side front court with the basketball will be Davis. Back out Bongiorno. Now to Stolberg on the right elbow. Stolberg will hand it off to Bongiorno. Now right side Davis. Davis, 4 to shoot. Ball is knocked away and stolen by Arnwine. The Pioneers survive it, and into the front court will be Dixon. Dixon driving it around 2 off the glass, banks it in. Bree Dixon in her first game back with her 15th point. 59-55, Tusculum. After leading by 18 in the first half, the Wolves have continued to chip away. Stolberg takes about a 10-footer. That one's no good, and the rebound taken by Dixon and is double-teamed, and Belton is going to be taken to the floor on Bongiorno trying to go after a loose ball. So it'll be a foul on Bongiorno. And that'll be number 4 on her. So Gates back into the game for Newberry. Tusculum by 4, and you would think, well, probably need a bucket here. Yeah, leaking oil offensively for sure. Tusculum leads 59-55. They've been outscored here in this second half by 6 combined points. Sherman driving around Virgo into the paint, puts it in. D. Sherman. 61-55 Tusculum. And she's instant offense off the bench as well for this Pioneer team. Gates, Roberts, baseline Davis for 3. Has been red hot but misses here. Rebounded by Maya Belton, who already has her 3rd in 4 games, her 3rd double-double. Across the midcourt stripe with the basketball, Jordan Rogers. Rogers to Dixon. Backdoor cut is Arnwine. The pass had to be lobbed, and then losing it was Arnwine out of play and turns it over. Jayla with a nice play, but the pass had to be lobbed up a bit too high, so it delayed everything getting there. And a timeout's going to be asked for by this Newberry Wolves team. But just a quick timeout. Newberry will have just 1 remaining. With the Pioneers leading 61-55. Again, a Pioneer team that you got to think about what they lost from a season ago. And a lot of people say, well, with that COVID year, you got everybody back. Well, Tusculum didn't bring everybody back. Newberry's got a lot of faces back this year, but Tusculum did not. You lose your basic All-American and Maddie Sutton, who is playing professionally overseas. And then you've got the absence of Marta Rodriguez, who was to be back. You don't have Miller as well. You got to think about what Aaliyah Miller brought in. She was instant offense off of that bench from a season ago. So you don't have that. Plus, Kirsten Click tears a knee up before the season begins, and you don't have her and that outside three-point shot. And early in the year, for Coach Price, she's just trying to piece it together and figure out what she's got and what she doesn't have. But with Dixon back, again, that was 5 pieces missing at the beginning of the year, and now Dixon back, and hopefully will stabilize some things as we get into the winter months. Newberry in the paint. Little turnaround by Wisely is up and good, and it's 61-57. Wisely was nowhere to be found in the first half, and here in this second half, 8 points, all of it, and she's 4 for 4 from the field. Under 4 to play in the game. Pioneers with the lead and the ball. And can they hold on? They have just been hanging on for dear life. 8 to shoot, and Dixon will be fouled by Gates. Malaysia Gates picking up the personal, and the 4th team foul on Newberry, or is it the 5th? It is the 5th. So Dixon will go to the stripe. She'll shoot 2 for the Pioneers. And again, Dixon in her first game back already with 15. Knocks home that. 5 of 12 from the floor. And now 4 of 5 at the free throw line. Pioneer team that shot 48% in the first half. Down to 41% for the game. And here in this half, shooting just 40%. 63-57 Tusculum. 3.5 to play. Left side front court is Virgo. To the top is going to be Bongiorno. Bongiorno Davis on the right wing at the three-point stripe. Give it up Roberts. Roberts driving on Arnwine down the lane around Sherman. High off the glass is no good. And it may have hit the shot clock. That's a good eye by the official. You don't see that very often because you don't normally see a shot taken off the shot clock very often either. but that one did go. And it's a turnover, and the Pioneers get it back on the stop. 3:15 to play, and the Pioneers lead 63-57. Pioneers swept Newberry last year, one regular season game, and the conference tournament win in the quarterfinal. Dixon, Arnwine, Belton 3. Bang. 66-57, Maya Belton 12 in this second half. Left side front court, with it'll be Virgo. Back out to the top is Bongiorno to Roberts. On the baseline, Davis back to Roberts. Lobbing it into the paint for Wisely, defended by Sherman. Doubled. Wisely, step through, got it to go. Literally a step through. But ending a mini run for the Pioneers. They have hit their last 3 shots. Tusculum. 66-59. Wisely into double figures with 10. On the left side front court with the basketball is going to be Arnwine. Dixon will try a 3. No. Rebounded by Sherman, jumping up over the top to grab it. And back it out to Rogers for the Pioneers. Arnwine with it as we approach 2 minutes to play. Roberts defending Arnwine. And Arnwine with 5 to shoot. Dixon taking Wisely to the rim. High off the glass. This one is no good, and the rebound comes down to Bongiorno. Newberry gets the stop and 1:50 to play. Kick it out. Roberts left wide open for 3. Back iron, no good, and the rebound to Jordan Rogers, and she, in fact, is going to be fouled. So Wisely will pick up that foul, her 3rd. Meanwhile, Rogers will come to the free throw line. That will allow us to step away for just a moment. We pause 10 seconds for station identification as you listen to Pioneer Basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Pioneer Basketball on the Pioneer Sports Network with the voice of the Pioneers, Brian Staten. On Sports Radio 1450 WSMG. Green.
Jordan Rogers will go to the stripe for the Pioneers and rattle in her first of the 2 shots. 1:43 left here in this basketball game. Pioneer team last week against number 4 in the nation, North Georgia. Number 6 in the nation, Lander, went 1-1 last week. Rogers missing the second. Rebounded by Newberry. Tusculum leads 67-59. Newberry into the front court. Davis on the right wing, watched by Rogers. Gets a screen. Goes right to the rim around Sherman and Rogers. Missed the layup. Rebounded by Belton. Belton steps through a triple team and gives it up to Dixon. Dixon will have it with 1:20 to play in the basketball game. Dixon, work over by Roberts. And Dixon will back it out near the midcourt stripe. Roberts, their leading scorer on the year, just 5 points tonight. Dixon on the right side, driving into the paint, and will be whistled. Well, actually, it's a foul that will go against Bongiorno. And 2 more shots for Bree Dixon. Bongiorno will foul out of the game. They knew it was coming, so she'll foul out of the contest as Bree Dixon will go to the stripe for this Pioneer team. 5th in the conference in minutes played last year, Bree Dixon. That's another thing you missed here in the first 10 games of the year without the honorable mention all-conference. 10.5 points, just under 6 rebounds, just under 3 assists per game a season ago. Knocks in her first of the 2. A career 68% free throw shooter. Last year, though, hit 71% from the stripe. We'll make both. 69-59. Tusculum again by 10. Newberry had cut it to 2. It is as close as they have been all game. Davis a 3. Rainbow is no good. And the rebound comes down to Newberry. Skip pass right side to Davis. Down the lane, we'll kick it out. This will be Cronin for 3. That one's short and no good, and Belton grabs the rebound. Maya Belton grabs another, a 17-point, 15-rebound game for Maya Belton. Dixon will take off into the paint. We'll kick it out to Arnwine with 35 seconds to play. And likely, well, Pioneers will just have the opportunity to dribble it out, but they can't as Roberts comes up with the steal on Arnwine. And now 25 seconds to play, and Coach Joanna Tinch went, oh, wait a minute, let's call a timeout. I have 1 left. So she calls the break and will be the final timeout for the Newberry Wolves. But more on Maya Belton and what she has been able to do. 18 points this season, her season high. She had a 25-point game a season ago against Mars Hill, where she just went ridiculously good from three-point territory and hit 5 of them twice. And in rebounding, a new career best for her in rebounding, completely a career best. 11 rebounds was her season high, and she had done that already 3 times this season. Had a 12-rebound game against Johnson and Wells a season ago. But Maya Belton tonight, 17 points on 7 of 14 shooting, and she scored, 12 of that here in the second half, as she scored the team's first 9 points in this second half. Again, with that 15-rebound career best game to this point. And she's been doing that in foul trouble much of the night. She picked up her 4th personal foul coming up, say, about midway through the third quarter, and came in early here in the 4th. Meanwhile, the return of Bree Dixon has her leading all scorers with 19 points and is running the Maddie Sutton sets, if you will. Missing Maddie from last year, Bree Dixon has been playing that 5 position as a true point guard, really. She's been playing the 5 tonight, and they've been and they have been actually getting back into the paint. And now the Pioneers are going to call a timeout right after the Newberry timeout, as Coach Price, with 25 seconds, I guess, wasn't done talking. You know, lots of times you get into a huddle, and I suppose you just want to talk, and you didn't get your point across, and that pesky horn sounds, so you just burn another timeout. I'm sure that's what all that happened. 19 for Dixon, 17 for Belton, and 16 for Arnwine. And Newberry tonight gets 16 out of Stolberg and a 10-point effort out of Wisely. That's all come basically here in this second half. Newberry made a great effort as they cut the lead down to 2 at 57-55 and had a shot for the tie, but it wouldn't go. And a whistle for a foul as Dixon catching it just outside the paint, and the foul will go against Roberts. So that'll be her second. Into the game will come Virgo and Davis. As out of the game, the defensive specialist, Erica Reed, along with Ella Pearson, will exit. 3-point shooters back in. Paraha is back in as well. Dixon at the stripe, making the first. Giving her 20. Obviously a season best in her first game. Giving her 21. One shy of her career best of 22 she scored against Carson Newman. A turnover on Paraha. And the Pioneers with it in 15 seconds to play. Coach Tincher says do not foul. It is 6 of the last 7 that Newberry has lost. The Pioneers will get the win, just their second conference win of the year, but a big-time return for Bree Dixon and a big-time win for the Pioneers. They get the final home win pre-Christmas. They'll go on the road to take on the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears and the Wingate Bulldogs Saturday and Monday. For those in Newberry, South Carolina, we appreciate you tuning in. You'll be joining us for the second game of our doubleheader. We'll chat with Pioneer coach Megan Price coming up. And then we will have our news between games, which is an approximately 5-minute break. So an extended break here for you may return you to your regular programming for a moment before we bring you men's basketball. That'll be coming your way here in just a moment as the Pioneers take on Newberry in game number 2. So just letting you know for our station WKDK down the line what's happening here. Our post-game with Coach Price, our news between games, and then our coverage of the second game on the way. Your final score here of game number 1. Tusculum 71, Newberry 61. Pioneer basketball. We'll continue with our Pioneer post-game in 90 seconds here on the Pioneer Sports Network.